All right. What we got going on here? Stream beginning in a moment. Just doing some last minute tidying up to do. Hello. Thanks for joining me. We are planning on having a tech talk here on Fedora Linux streaming. Just checking out who all's joining us here. We're on Twitch. My first stream on Twitch. And we will get to Tech Talk in just a moment. Just doing some tidying up here. I'm new here. I'm new to this. To a lot. There's a lot to cover here. We'll get to the Tech Talk. I'll try to put a chapter marker in there. Just doing some checking here. Also, yeah, one more thing I'm gonna check. While we're having Tech Talk, I mean, I don't think it would hurt. My hotkey, my hotkey didn't work there. So let me switch to my desktop. We just have this beautiful OS here. I'm running Fedora KDE desktop. I'm a KDE fan. This is just a beautiful multimedia rig, streaming rig. There's some issues I'm still working on, audio issues, some quirks. But I was going to share with you what in here. Someone YouTube on Twitch also supposed to be live on the vertical YouTube. Let's see what content we have here. I see this. I see this one. Would it be under shorts? I mean, it says it's there. It says it's there. Or in OBS Studio, it shows that I'm doing the YouTube output as well, which independently handling. This is another thing. I'm not sure how much bandwidth and stuff I have. But anybody want to join us in the chat? I want to what is the new thing I'm doing here? Some chat stuff. There we go. Let's see what the chat. Speaking of the chat thing. It shows the one YouTube. Okay, let's just roll with that. and the stream almost didn't happen. Almost didn't happen. Oh, my hotkeys. Stay. Let's check. You can check this out with me. My hotkeys. It's on never disable hotkeys, but they're not working when OBS is minimized. So that could be another bug or issue here on Fedora. But yeah, stream almost didn't happen. I was having some last minute issues, and more on this later. In audio issues, and there's always, why do I have the audio issues? And they seem to be last minute. I was trying to get on earlier here. We'll talk about that in a moment, but yeah, I talked myself into it and just making it work, making it happen. The show must go on. Okay. Because this might not have ever ended up happening. So thanks for joining me here. Yeah, the hotkey doesn't seem to want to work here. That's okay. We'll make it work. The show must go on. Anything complaining? I've had YouTube complaining before about bitrate or keyframes, which I'm not getting here. Knock on wood. So yeah, beautiful OS. I'm just really happy with it. Been through a lot with this. I just love KDE. I'm a KDE fan. Caused some issues, possibly with graphics. For instance, well, some of the things I like about KDE and the Dolphin file manager is just magnificent. You can just go through your things. What did some stuff, but you can say just right click, boom, all the advanced stuff is here. You don't need to install anything crazy. If you want to compress, boom. If you want to extract it, boom. It's just great tabs, and I've always been a fan. And of course, I knew you could probably install Dolphin on GNOME or something, but I just like the KDE. It's Windows like. This, it's kind of start menu type thing. Notification area there. And I just figured it was time. But so OBS, of course, running. I got all my favorites right here as for multimedia station, daily driver, um, running GIMP pretty well. VLC, Inkscape. There's some bugs and quirks with Inkscape that I might want to report, but it's not anything that won't hinder my work. But I make the thumbnails and graphics. I use more and more Inkscape, but GIMP, of course, for video editing, Shotcut, Kitty and Live. I usually use. I'm new to Kitty and Live, but I tried to use it when I was having a graphics issue, and it wasn't working either. So more on that in a moment. Discord, of course, but free and open source software as much as possible. With the exception of, I think Discord's probably not open source, but I just use that for my nephews and their gaming and keeping up with them and helping them stream on the Mari's channel on YouTube. Um, so, and then of course, your BIOS and um, graphics is an open source. I needed NVIDIA drivers for this. This is an ASUS Republic of Gamers laptop. It's old. It doesn't have TPM. It's another reason wanting to push this Fedora install. Um, Windows 10 end of life, restrictions on 11. Yeah, I could install hack, but so I have been a, an early adopter of Linux, and I've used it. I love to install it for many years, decades. Before it was cool, I was using Linux, and Fedora has usually been my choice. I just love it. It's just fantastic. Um, so a little bit of history of this machine. When I first got the machine, I did put in a second hard drive and did a dual boot into Fedora. It Years ago, I forget what version. It had a quirk where the mouse would stop and jolt, and I didn't have time to figure that out. So I went back to Windows. Ended up putting the laptop away and using another one for quite a while. It that killed the battery as well. Um, Battery issues with these. It's that I've tried all the tricks in the book and the forums. Don't really know if I should replace it or this order, but it's a beast. It's got NVIDIA, not an RTX, but it got a GTX. It has Thunderbolt port for external graphics card. I've never done that. I do have an external graphics card uh, unit that I came across from somewhere. Pulled that out. Um, might try RTX card. I don't know. Might just build a PC. But I mean, for the laptop, this is just it's always been a beast and a good multimedia machine. Kind of new to the streaming and video. I've just always been pushed. All my life, I've been pushed and pulled into the direction of creator stuff, of creative stuff, and you know, I I can't say I don't enjoy it. So here I am again, working on my nephew's gaming channel, Fortnite with the Mars, Gaming with the Mars, over on YouTube and Twitch. We just started that, some Twitch stuff. Um, so show you multimedia stuff. Pro audio interface. Yeah, so went pro audio. Finally got audio interface. I decided to take a chance and get one on eBay, but I'm telling you, I think it's a software issue and I think it's an OBS issue, and I'm really upset about it. Um, let me just see if I can show you here. And so we got, yeah, this laptop, but what I'm talking about is this Pro Audio interface. It's a magnificent interface, and I'm having the problem with it. So that was another last minute audio thing was looking out in OBS intermittently. So then I found that if I think it required a reboot of the machine. So I tried to come on here and stream earlier. It was happening. I rebooted, still happening, rebooted, changed all kinds of settings. And if anybody has any advice on that, Fedora Linux, this specific interface, clipping out. Yeah, I know. I've seen that the top responds for that, making sure that the sample rates match and all that they do. And I tried. to um, so other software. It works in Audacity. I'm able to get a clean, great recording, even when this is happening. And it just seems like it's yes. I might boot into Windows and install the drivers on this and try OBS. It would be interesting to see if it happens. I'm willing to bet it will not happen. The clipping and chopping won't happen. So show must go on. For the time being, I just got this stuff plugged directly into this beast of a laptop. I got the input and the output. I'm just using. I'm. I mean, I have audio stuff. I think I'm decent at it. It's just there's always an audio issue. It seems like, in a lot of the times at the last minute. So it, yeah, I could have used my. I have a nice Bluetooth headset. Sometimes I don't like the bulky headset on video. So here I am making it work. Um, Plus I like this mic. I like the way this mic sounds. All right. So moving on here. Take a gander. What else? We got. You're probably tired of me seeing OBS. The that feature of hiding OBS. I'm not seeing that in this version. Um, Speaking of version, yeah. Speaking of version, so I prefer to run the OBS Studio directly from the RPN Fusion repositories as opposed to um, Flatpaks, which is what OBS Studio visually recommends. I have just done some reading that it's more efficient, it's closer to the hardware. And so I've just been striving to get it to work. Finally got all the plugins that I use working, surprisingly. Um, so I'm just really trying to get this through. And they just came out with 32, um, version 32 in the RPM Fusion repository just hit like 2 days ago. And so that could be an issue too. But when I was using 31, the audio was the same thing was happening, but that was when I could reboot and then it would work fine. But with 32, I'm not. So there's a lot to handle, a lot to tackle to see what the underlying problem is. Um, could possibly be the hardware. Like I said, I took a chance and bought this used on eBay, and then I came across this obscure forum. This guy, like I think he said he was in Fedora with this particular model, exact one, and I was just thinking, and yeah, his outcome was that it was the hardware unit, and then no one else responded in the forum. And I don't know. I kind of would doubt that, but if it was, like, what are the chances that I got that same unit that was having the problems? Like that someone had ended up with it and put it up on eBay and maybe not knowing that it had, I don't know, or an intermittent issue. Maybe they tested it. But yeah, so I'm just winging it. Yeah, I'm new here, but I'm winging it. I'm directly in and out of the laptop right now, and it's working. So um see here. So did Pro Audio, and I can't forget to mention. I normally put LibreOffice in here, but LibreOffice, baby. As opposed to MS Office. Um, it is just fantastic. They have just come a long way, and this is just a beautiful desktop publishing, free, open source, stable, powerful, um, break free from the chains of subscription desktop publishing. This you can install this in Windows, Mac, anywhere you want. The the last thing that was keeping me from fully diving into LibreOffice only and as a daily driver was my resume. My resume originally was a legacy resume dating back from years, decades ago. Early versions of Microsoft Word have quirks, um, weird characters, and I've just always been, I always wanted to use Microsoft Word to, because the layout didn't come out right sometimes. And if you opened it up in LibreOffice or whatever, I finally bit the bullet and uh, I retyped my resume from scratch. Um, and yeah, it doesn't look like overly complex, but like the things like the bullets were weird and quirky, and that like the layout. But then also, lately I just share a PDF version because the layout is going to be the layout. The layout you get is going to be the layout you have, and no one's complaining about it. Everyone accepts PDFs. So yeah, once I did that and then start sharing PDFs, I had no reason to be shaken down for a subscription fee just to make updates to my resume. That's ridiculous. With all the free and open source software available. So yeah, had to mention that. Um, why Linux? Yeah, I already explained I'm early adopter. The Windows TPM issues, Windows 11 requirements, ending support for Windows 10. And like I said, I wanted to run Fedora as my daily driver and on this machine many years ago when I first got it. But some of the quirkiness, and I was experiencing that same quirkiness on uh, other laptops around that same Fedora version. Yeah, try a different version, more stable version, or I'm just a Fedora fan. We'll dive some deeper into that in a moment. So yeah, and then another thing, I was first streaming some gaming videos with my nephews, and I was using Windows, and I fresh installed Windows. It's working great, except the USB ports were limited. It was only I ended up finally able to get two cameras in, and I really needed three to like work it right. I did some workarounds, but a few days ago, I mean, I tried it out on Linux, and it takes all the cameras and all the US. What it is, it's a USB port limitation in Windows. And I know, yeah, there's some kind of software utility where you can disable some of the USB ports. But hey, I'm a Linux guy, I'm a Linux fan. I don't need to worry about that. I've moved on. I'm on Fedora as a daily driver. So I installed Fedora 42 on the first go, and uh, 42. Yeah, that was good. It was good. It was great. It was nice. It was polished. Um, I hadn't ran a Fedora in a while. Had to do some research about I really need the NVIDIA drivers for this video processing. That installed and with Secure Boot, that installed pretty well. Then um, I started having some issues, and it turned out not to be graphics related. Quirkiness with this laptop. and like power settings. So it's a long story. The Apparently the NVIDIA graphics card will sometimes go into this mode where nothing works that needs to use the graphics processor, and then it won't even boot when it comes up to the boot screen. Its first graphics interface of the login screen on KDE is when it crashes and it just turns off. And there's not much in the logs, and you can go back and look in the logs. I was just reading in the forum. And from experience, um, but I got everything set up on this Fedora 42. Audio issues. Yeah, another weird audio quirk on this thing. On this laptop. Take a look at this. Did some digging. It's got Intel audio, HD audio in here. Did some digging. Was changing a bunch of settings in, let's see, Etsy. I think I named it Intel. Maybe you want. Let's see what we got in here. Oh yeah, Sound Intel, I think. So check out this option here. I ended up enabling. Um, Eventually I found this option. You have to put the model. That's this model of laptop, because there's a bunch of sound options you can change here. I was getting there. I was making it work. Then the subwoofer wasn't working, but I was starting to get it to work, but the audio wasn't quite right still. I eventually went and found updated version of this um, configuration somewhere on like GitHub or one of the Linux websites or something, where I wonder what, I can't forget what that file is with all the sound options. And I eventually found, oh, ASUS G51 751 is on there now. You just put the model of the laptop, because you can put like model equals and then like, oh, I forget other options, but this is what fixed that issue. And then I moved on. So get that issue fixed. Graphics Steam. More on that moment. Fedora 42 Steam just installed beautifully. No issues, and it worked beautifully. It tested it. Discord. Wake from sleep issue. Oh man, another long story. Notorious, and for these laptops in particular, even with the NVIDIA graphics, proprietary graphics drivers. So for now, I finally just ended up foregoing sleep. I don't need sleep. I don't need the laptop to sleep. When I'm done using it for the day, I turn it off. I can turn it off. I don't need it to sleep. For now, it's nice to have where you can just boom, get right into your PC when you need to. But I don't really need to. I've just forgot that. It's one of the things that I'm willing to deal with to be able to run this. And yeah, I'll probably fix it later, or figure it out. Um, but there's just so much that happens when a laptop goes into sleep. And I was digging through logs, and there's just so much that happens just to sleep. Lots of services shutting down, coming back online, Bluetooth, all that stuff. Um, I'm also gonna have another. Um, it contributes to the power issues that these the quirk. It's a major quirk. Because it won't boot. But I think I found the issue. It like happens when the power suddenly cut off, and then if the laptop goes to sleep, um, and the display won't come back on, um, and then you force shut it down, or if you pull the power cord, one of my nephews pushed the button on the power strip 2 days ago. Like he's 3, and that caused the issue where it wouldn't boot as well. So it's like a sudden power loss. But I think I've narrowed that down, and trying to prevent the sudden power losses. Yeah, dual booting, running Windows 10 on the other drive. So then I got, when I install Fedora on the dual drive system on UEFI, I prefer to remove Windows completely because Fedora and other OS, they try to, they tinker with the Windows boot and then put the boot screen sometimes on the Windows drive. And I don't want that. I would just want to be able to select on a low level UEFI when I boot up what OS I want to go into. So I remove Windows, the Windows drive, install Fedora, put the Windows drive back in, and then I have both available to choose from. Um, so then I got fed up with 42, and I said, well, I'm just going to reinstall. So I removed the Windows drive, and it booted. So it was that. Now I know it had gotten out of that power mode, but I was like, why does it boot when the Windows drive isn't in? And it's because it was going through that power issue. And I got tired of, removing the Windows drive. What it was when I go and remove the Windows drive, the power is disconnected. And so it gives it a chance to kind of like get out. Like if you let it sit, or if you unplug the power, or do um like a CMOS clear, like a clear thing on, it will uh step out of this mode that it's in. So that's what's happening. It wasn't anything to do with another drive being in it. So anyway, um before I found, I said, well, Fedora is just, right now it's too, I was just having these problems, and I said, well, I really want to run Linux. Maybe I can't do Fedora if it has too many issues, um, running bleeding edge software with updates. And so I tried Debian out. I installed Debian, and 13 just came out, and it was just the perfect time for me to dive in. And I wanted this ability. I was just wanting to see if everything worked correctly and easier. So I did, and I was starting to configure it, and it was going great. It I didn't feel, oh, I just felt like I didn't belong. It wasn't as polished and pretty, and running the latest stuff and the latest Plasma, KDE Plasma, and so I just stayed with it. But what the deal breaker was, I I installed OBS Studio, and I started to install the plugins, and then I noticed that there's no browser support whatsoever, and it's the Debian official version, Debian repository version of OBS. And um, so one moment here. But yeah, no official browser support, no browser docs, no browser sources. Yes, I could run a Flatpak version. I said, well, and then Fedora 43 was just released. And I said, I couldn't help but try Fedora again. Go back to Fedora. That's where I belong, where I feel like I belong. So, what kind of views we have? How much here? 2:30 in the morning, Saturday night. But hey, I hope this video is useful to somebody or an inspiration for somebody. Just to maybe you're also worried about the Windows 10 end of life, and you have a nice laptop you've liked for a while, and you don't, or you maybe you can't afford to buy a brand new one, or PC that has TPM security as the Windows 11 requirement. Um, but yeah, moving on with the tech, with the text, with the tech. Yeah, another thing that I really dig about Fedora is these group installs. Like, you can install these groups of software. For instance, um, LibreOffice Design Suite, which includes different in audio production. Yeah, I got all that. So that one's called audio. So we say TNF group info audio, and it shows you all the apps and things that it will install. I like the our door. I'm gonna try that out. Um, I'm also gonna, I think I'm gonna install this. Let's see, I did Design Suite, a couple other things, development tools, Electronic Lab. So I think I'm gonna install that one. So group, let's see, info, Electronic Lab. I wanted to fool around with some software-defined radio, and I might stream with some Scanner radio traffic. But I might just install it by itself. I don't know if I want to install this whole, even though I do some of this stuff. Anyway, um, yeah, some of the, I already like the multimedia. Just got all kinds of tools and utilities. Just boom, just right there. Oh yeah, look at this. This caught my eye. Guitar. This guitar. Um, guitar header, guitar effects. I'm gonna try this out, as well as our door. Some kind of drum kit, mixers, wazoo, cam stuff, jack audio, hydrogen jump, helium machine, Muse Score Studio. That's pretty neat. Wonder how, if that's how better than Rose Garden is also down here for music scoring. Chat control. Hey, there's another guitar. Audio effects processing rack. Well, I don't want to crash OBS Studio. I don't want to open. I'm careful what I'm going to open while it's running. Sometimes it's issues, especially if they use the graphics processor. Office, of course, got the LibreOffice I showed. Oh, yeah, and I think that the Scribus is here too for professional publication. Of course, this is KDE. see what else has search functionality like Windows. Plasma. Plasma. See if I can get some kind of screen. But yeah, I like the dark. I love the dark mode in KDE Plasma. By the way, I came across in the forum that KDE dark mode could be contributing to the graphics issue when it goes into the state. Um, so that's potentially why. But man, I just love the dark mode. Um, gotta have it. So yeah, but back to Roar 43, OBS reliably streamed Mari's stuff. They had the power issues, some NVIDIA quirks. It doesn't like it like if I open something use graphics while I'm streaming, or while it's open and then stream. Like if I open VLC before I stream and then I go stream, it complains that there's not enough NVIDIA resources or something. You can just restart OBS Studio, close everything that's using graphics, except I got Chromium running. Yeah, I thought I was having shortcut and KDE and live issues. I was like, why is none of these video editing software working when I drag something down the track? It's because it was in that graphics mode, and apparently I couldn't use the um, the graphics just to put. It couldn't even load a video into the timeline. Speaking of that, the plasma. Another thing that pointed me in the right direction was I was getting a notification panel down on the taskbar that, hey, this rendering backend was set to software. But yeah, it gave me a warning down here. That was nice. And so all I had to do was go in and set it back to automatic, and then I rebooted. But it was already out of that power mode too, I think, because I let it sit unplugged for a little bit, and it kind of snapped out of it. Weird. Um, Steam on. Okay, so Fedora 43, I have not been able to get Steam to work. So if I go install Steam, then it's going to complain, fail to resolve the transaction. Requires this stuff, but none of the providers can be installed. So I'm thinking I'm going to install some 32-bit stuff and see if I can overcome that. I don't know. I'm going to have to look at that. That's an issue, but I'm not as much of a gamer anymore. I don't have to have Steam. I like to do the creative stuff and the streaming. Um, I would like to play some or maybe stream some games. But hey, look at this too. Boom, all these games. It was a uh group install. No, I don't think I did the games. Want to do that real quick? DNF group list. Oh, some make OBS crash. So there's some games and entertainment. That's installed already. So there's a particular game. It's like the Mario Kart, but it's a KDE like freeware version of it. TuxKart, SuperTuxKart. So let's see. I forget how it's spelled. SuperTuxKart. And it looks like it's 64-bit. So that should install. Let's give this a go here on the live stream. Want to do it? And OBS might, if it uses the graphics chip, well, OBS is streaming. But I think it's streaming. It already has like a hold of the GPU resources, and because it's streaming. Let's do this. Let's install Super Tux. See if it auto completes. And let's do that. Let's install SuperTuxKart. But there's a game, another games package or group, I think, that has more of the games that includes this one. Because I remember when I had Fedora 43, 42, um, I had like a bunch of games. So I'm gonna install that. I think we'll be fine with that. I don't know if I want to run it during the stream though. I do want to do like a stream of a run through of that game. I've never really played it, just tested it out, but it looks pretty neat because I like those Mario Kart racing games, the Sony PlayStation version, Crash Kart or Crash Team Racing, and I have a Sonic version of it. That's on my Steam. I was kind of wanting to run through that too, but I'm having trouble running Steam. This would be neat to run through this game. I don't know if I should launch it. Does it even use GPU? Probably. It's doing this CPU intensive stuff. I think it's basically compiling them. Let's take a look at viewers here. Nobody wants to join that. 2:30. Man, in my day, 2:30 a.m. on a Saturday night was early. Just getting out of the bars and starting the night, man. All right. Try this chat out. So, like, if I put a chat in, say I put like a chat. I got Stream Ninja. I'm trying this out. So if I'm kind of new to it. I'm very new to it. So thanks for joining. It's supposed to, yeah. So that comes up in my OBS Studio doc. So that went to Twitch and YouTube, and then I can highlight it. So like, say I can be here. Hey, Will just said, thanks for joining. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, all right. So we got the SuperTuxKart. SuperTuxKart. Yeah, I think if OBS has anything, I doubt it's gonna like what should I, you guys want to see SuperTuxKart? Let's do it. Let's do it. It's running. I don't know if you hear the sound. So they hear this.